So from then you can now see that it is making it an integral part of the Nigerian sporting legacy. And Diko's appointment as the chairman of this commission will be a bold move to revitalize Nigerian sports. And as we eagerly await to see how his experience and leadership will steer our athletes and sports administrators
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains.
MPFL chairman. He's worked with major people with FIFA. He's worked with CAF as well, making sure that sports development here in the country is being achieved. For me, I feel it's a good one. It's a step in the right direction. Having a person like Malanche Odiko, who, for me, he didn't read anything, or will I say, anything that concerns sports in school, but coming out, he's shown us that he's a man that loves the world of sports, the game of sports, and he's ready to improve and develop sports over here in the country. So for me, I think the development is moving sports in the right direction.
In the right direction, and of course, you also took a look at you know, how far it's been. The fact that he's also a northerner could have also played any push or motivation to the fact that he has also achieved so much when it comes to activity. I don't think that leadership in Nigeria revolves around the northerners.
Yes, definitely. We know how this sometimes this appointment, because he was actually appointed by the president himself. We know how such appointment can come. Sometimes is not based on merits, but for me, on his case, I feel like Shehu Diko, his resume speaks for him, because we know that he's a man that have been in and around the sporting scene over the years. He's not a new gem or a newbie when it comes to sporting events and the sporting sector over here in Nigeria. So I feel like his resume and his credentials speaks for him. And yes, we know that in the past some people have been appointed just contracted jobs and just go there and take this job just to put money in their own pockets. But for me, I think Malam Shehu Diko, he deserves this appointment. A lot of people have commended the president for such appointment. Ex-Minister of Sports in Gombe State as well, Yanu, came out to commend this appointment as well. So for me, I want to agree with them. I think this is the right appointment.
It's the right appointment. Well, first of all, before we take a look at the appointment of Malam Shehu Diko as into the NLC, let's look at the scrubbing. What resulted? I mean, John Owen Eno, before now, used to be at the helm of affairs of sports in Nigeria. We saw what that played out since he came in. You know, what could have prompted the president, you know, to take such a drastic decision of scrubbing the sports ministry and then instituting or bringing back the National Sports Commission for sporting activity. But let's talk about the key difference between a sports ministry and then its commission, so that we understand how Shehu Diko, you know, our sports personality, got to this point. A sports ministry is typically a department that is headed by a minister, okay, who is part of the cabinet. The ministry is directly responsible to the government and is often embedded with larger bureaucratic framework of the state. Whereas a sports commission is a specialized independent or semi-autonomous body often run by appointed officials like a chairman. It operates on a more flexible layout and focuses exclusively on sports management and development rather than being directly governed. So some in this from this direction, it looks like when we talk about sports commission, we look at the sports itself. I mean, you expertise, doyens, those who are knowledgeable in the field, as against the sports ministry where you can just pick a commission. I mean, a political for compensation, political allies.
Yeah.
You know, friend. You know, just to compensate him. So this could have also been from the differences. So I read that yeah, it could also been that they needed a full knowledge, but is Shehu Diko the man, you know, to help in pushing this, knowing fully well what the plans of the sports ministry is or what their plans are going forward?
For me, I think that's the big question here. That's the big question here because a lot of people in the past have criticized the previous administration of Malam Shehu Diko in how he ran the affairs in the MPFL over there, that there was no improvement in the MPFL. But we know what Malam Shehu Diko did in the MPFL, making sure that club licensing, the management, organization as well in the MPFL are being run and taken to the next level. So I feel like if he can also put his expertise into the sports development sectors, different sectors, and not just football development like he's done in the past, working just in the football sector. But this time around, Malam Shehu Diko will be overseeing all sporting events. I think this is a big task for him, and I feel like a lot of work needs to be done. And this time around, Malam Shehu Diko will need to prove people wrong because a lot of people are not still happy with this appointment. So this time around, he will need to prove his doubters wrong and making sure that he clears their doubt that he's the right man for this particular one.
And then talking about being right, well, since he was removed from the Nigerian, the league management company, a lot of people were surprised to get the first time they are going to hear about him is on this appointment. So you ask, where has Shehu Diko been since he was relieved of, or since he left office as the LMC chairman and the NFF second vice president?
Yes, that's another question to ask. Like a person that he's been behind the scenes for a while now, since he left his role as the LMC chairman right there. We've not really heard much about Malam Shehu Diko. He's not really shown himself. Maybe, just maybe, he might be doing some underground work in making sure that sport development grow in the country. Maybe that's what prompted this appointment by the president, because you can't tell me that the president will just wake up one morning and decide to appoint a Malam Shehu Diko to be the chairman of the National Sport Commission. So for me, I think maybe he's been putting his hands together, making sure that the grassroots sports and develop right here in the country. Maybe that's what prompted his appointment from the president.
Now, in terms of reporting hierarchy, it's easier for the sports federations, you know, basketball, football, NFF, to report to the minister. And the state too, the budget appropriation bills and all that. In terms of reporting, how does the reporting goes? Who will he report to? Because the sports minister reports to the president. Who will Shehu Diko reports to?
I think it will still be similar with what the sports minister actually does. Because we know that the sports minister reports directly to the president. For me, I still feel like they still have similar duties, because you can't tell me that Malam Shehu Diko will just take decisions by himself and making sure that he just make those decisions just by himself alone. I still feel like he still has a hierarchy, which might be the president or any other person that maybe the president tells him to maybe report to. But for now, we haven't heard of him having a higher hierarchy or having a higher person to report to. But for me, I still feel there might be similar duties with the Minister of Sports and this National Sports Commission chairman, which is Malam Shehu Diko. Maybe they might have similar duties in just reporting to the president alone.
In terms of reporting to the president, similar duties might be required, but let's see how far that can go. Another big question to ask is, as we profile that man, Shehu Diko, is on the bad knowledge of the game. He's well known for in football. You know, he has done some, arguably some good jobs in the football scene in Nigeria. But now that he's in charge of the activities of the game encompassing, do you think that would be too heavy or less for him?
For me, it depends on how well he happens to put people that actually knows the game at his right hand side, because he needs to work hand in hand with people that knows the game, not just depending on himself alone. He need to work hand in hand, even if he's bringing what's his name right now, the chairman of the Basketball Federation,
Musa Kida.
yeah, Musa Kida, to work hand in hand with people like that. Different federations have different chairmen. You work hand in hand with those people in making sure that the growth of those sports also is being established. So I feel like if he can do that, the work will be just very, very sure for him. It will be easier for him if he can do that. But if he decides to work alone in making sure that the sport development and the growth of sports is being accomplished over here in the country, I feel like it's going to be very difficult for him. But for him, he needs to work hand in hand with such people that knows the game.
Diko needs to work hand in hand with people that understand the game, and of course, he is the man on showcase this morning as a sports personality. All right, let's also move away from that and let's talk about when he was a LMC chairman. Like you said earlier, a lot of persons are not happy with his appointment because they feel that, during his days in the MPFL, he did not arguably live up to 100% expectation as desired. A lot of persons accuse him of creating deals that are questionable and all that, and that continues. But how will you sum up his achievement or level of activity in the Nigerian Premier Football League before he left as the LMC chairman?
Yeah, for me, I think he didn't really do that bad, but at the same time, he was not superb when he was the LMC chairman. I will just put him in between, because we know that there were some major improvements during his reign and during his campaign as the LMC chairman, like the likes of sports licensing, organization, as well as sports management in the MPFL actually improved during his reign and during his time as the LMC chairman. But there were still a lot of work that he needed to do, and because during his time, our league was not on TV. During his time, there are a lot of things, refereeing decisions were really, really bad. There are a lot of controversies, especially in the aspect of prize money. When it comes to how much does the winner of the MPFL take, things like that were issues that happened during his reign as the LMC chairman. So these are some major issues that he had during that time. So I feel like these are some of the reasons why people feel like he's not the right man for this particular job. He's also been linked with some theft issues and the rest in the past. So these are issues. But for me, I feel like it's still yet to be proven if he was really the cause of these issues. So right now, I feel like he needs to work hand in hand with people that knows the game, with people that are ready to work, that love the sports as well, in making sure that sports developments, especially grassroots sports, actually will take grassroots sport to the next level right here in the country.
Shehu Diko is the man that we are looking at this morning on sports personality, and of course, a lot of people think that the development of other sports lies now in his hand. But then something very striking. I mean, he was just made a chairman. Is the president expecting him to get other committee members that will work with him, or for him to, look for expertise that will help him achieve these things, at the level of this commission?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Him being the chairman right now, for me, I think he has the veto power and to appoint who he works hand in hand with, because he needs to have cabinet members that actually reports to him in cases. He needs to have cabinet members in each and every sport, maybe like basketball, football, tennis. He can name them because he he alone cannot oversee the whole sports. He needs people that report to him hand in hand, people he gives instructions to, and they come back with reports. These are the kind of things I'm expecting to be seeing from Malam Shehu Diko, in making sure that the improvement of sports development in the country is being taken to the next level. And if he can do this, maybe, just maybe, he's that man that can take this our sports to the next level, ahead of the Olympics and ahead of other sporting events that are to come.
Just yesterday, the National Assembly's, National Assembly fulfilled a vow of 100 million naira given to the sports ministry. Maybe John Owan Eno was never aware of what is going to come his way. But do you think that in his leadership he did well? Even if we now have a new sports commissioner now in Shehu Diko, but will you assess John Owan Eno as a leader that has done very well in the last 2 years?
Yes, for me, I wouldn't say he did really bad. For me, I think he did a lot during his time as the Minister of Sports over here in the country. He made some very, very critical decisions that were very, very impactful in the sport development of the country. We know how our football have been developing during his reign, especially in the MPFL. Since his time, we've made sure that the MPFL is now back on TV. We've not heard about teams that actually won the MPFL being owed. Even the prize money for the MPFL has been improved as well. Other sporting events like our basketball league is now running, our female basketball league as well. So for me, I feel like John Owan Eno did a lot during his reign as the Minister of Sports, but a lot was actually still left behind, which I feel that he still has to, or he still would have done if he was not maybe put aside. I hear that now he's actually maybe the Minister of Commerce. I was hearing some reports and some rumors, but I'm not actually...
Trade and investment.
Yeah. That's what I've been hearing of recent. But for me, I think he did well. He did well during his reign.
Of course, a lot is at stake. Shehu Diko is the man we're profiling this morning. And of course, we're doing this because of his recent appointment as the sports commissioner, that is the Nigerian Sports Commission. He's now the chairman of that commission, ensuring that that the development and sustainability of sports Nigeria and its inherent talents continues. And one thing very striking is you also look at him from the NFF. When you are the league, when you are the chairman of the league, so to say, you also become part of the NFF. How will you rate his role in the NFF when he was the chairman of the league?
Yes.
He worked with Mervyn Pinnick.
Yeah, he worked hand in hand with Amadou Pinnick, but let's not forget that Amadou Pinnick was still the man that was taking or making all the calls over there. And maybe he might just be working with him as an advisor, but he was not taking any major decision on his own. So I feel like, yes, he did well, working hand in hand with Amadou Pinnick, making sure that the NFF and everything football over here in our national team was being done well and run well. So for me, he worked well, he did well during his time.
And then let's take a look at his tenure as the impact he made, or the fact that he was able to work with FIFA. In his role, he worked with FIFA, CAF, and all these were these are international connections that really build his experience. Could you say this is one area that made him better of our standing than others?
Yes, having such, having such addition or that kind of impact, working with FIFA as well as CAF, those people are international bodies. We know how big FIFA is. So if you have the opportunity to work with FIFA, for me, is an addition to your resume. Working with FIFA is not just anything that anybody can do. Before FIFA works with you, they see you as somebody that is very, very competent for you to work with them. So for me, I think it's an added advantage, and actually played a role in him getting this particular one as the National Sports Commission chairman.
And then, of course, no doubt, after a decade of dissolution of the NLC, it is now back, and there certainly will be challenges that Diko will face, isn't it?
Yes, definitely, definitely. It's been a while since the National Sports Commission was actually put aside for the sports ministry. So now that he's been back, I think there are a lot of challenges that he will face, especially inner challenges. There are a lot of people that need to be scrubbed out as well. He needs to work hand in hand with new people, people that he knows well, people that he can trust as well, that are competent for the job. Also, we know the kind of financial challenges also that come with this kind of appointments. In making sure that the sports development and sports grow over here in the country, there are a lot of money needs to be put into sports. So these are the kind of things that I expect Shehu Diko to expect as being the chairman of the National Sports Commission. He needs to emphasize on money being put into our sports over there. He needs to tell the president that sports development can't just grow. Our sports can't grow except investing in the sports. These are challenges as well that he will also face, because we know over the years that with the kind of money we've put into our sports over here is not something to write home about. So these are the challenges I feel like he will face for now.
No doubt, the Tinubu administration seems to be one of the best in terms of sports support, financially backing them in different fronts, and maybe that could also be the reason why a man has spent 12 billion, is it 12 billion or million? 12 billion to prepare, for Olympics and Paralympics, and you go there, come back, and nothing to write home about. But Shehu Diko will now be the man that will be reporting, the success of the sports federation and the sports ministry. And before we go on a short break, Miracle, let's look at how he will partner, the cohesion that we expect from him. We partner with the sporting federations. We have close to about 30 sporting federations in Nigeria. How do you see him partnering with different sporting federations in Nigeria?
Yeah, this is what I said previously. For me, I think he needs insiders in each and every sports federation. He needs insiders that will report to him, that will make critical decisions, that will go in those sporting events and know how they can impact in those events, and making sure that the sporting development in each and every one of those events actually happens. For me, he can't just do this on his own. He needs men that are ready to work and not just there to maybe put the money in their pocket and the rest. If he can do this, and making sure that he takes each and every one of those sports equal, not focusing on only one sector. Like we know that over the years we've focused on football more than any other sports. It's just of recent that our basketball, we've been looking deeper in our basketball and the rest. Focus on other sports, focus on basketball, focus on tennis, weightlifting. There are a lot of sports in Nigeria. Just recently we had of fencing some couple of months ago that a lot of work have been put into fencing over here in the country. These are some sports that we should also venture into. These are sports that we can improve on. So I feel like yes, he needs to do all this to making sure that our sports development right here in the country and overseas, when we are participating in international events, we actually improve. So these are the things I expect Malam Shehu Diko to be doing in a couple of months.
Going to short break now. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up the show this morning. Don't go anywhere.
From the lands across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on
that President Tinubu believes that this man can help change the narrative and prosper our sports to the level of admiration. And many thanks to you, Miracle, for being part of the sports personality this morning We appreciate.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that will be all today on today's edition of the show. We'll be back again next week for another beautiful edition of Sports Personality. But until then, stay locked here on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Ekpo Temple. Have a lovely morning. Bye-bye.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
you.